All right, thanks for coming, everyone. Hi. So, welcome to the 2005 edition of RoboCraft, the 6370 programming competition. I'm Aaron Iba.
I'm David Greenspan.
We're the 6370 chairman and your host for tonight. And so here's our agenda. We're going to tell you a little bit about 6370. We're going to meet our sponsor companies. We're going to tell you about the game of RoboCraft, which is what 6370 is based on. We're going to meet our finalist teams who made it here tonight. We're going to show you an example RoboCraft match so you can see how it plays. Then we're going to have the tournament, narrow down 8 teams to 1 grand champion, and then followed by a prize ceremony.
So 6370 is a software competition for MIT, Harvard, and Wellesley students, and it takes place during IAP, which is MIT's activity period during January. And teams of 1 to 3 students enter in order to write programs that control autonomous robots in a video game style environment.
All right, so some stats. On January 3rd, when we started the competition, we had 127 teams and 252 students, which is a record for 6370 and for any robot competition at MIT. On January 27th, it's just a few days ago, we had the final deadline for contestants to submit their code, and we had over 352,000 lines of code submitted. Now, all right, that's a lot of late-night hacking. So, tonight we've got the top 8 teams competing in a double elimination tournament, and we're going to see how they do. So, but first, before we get to the tournament, we want to thank all of our sponsor companies who made this competition possible. So let's have a round of applause for sponsor companies.
Okay, we're going to hear from our Platinum and Gold sponsor companies. So first, let's hear from our Platinum sponsor company, Bank of America Securities.
Thanks. How you doing?
So, I found out about 10 minutes ago that I was going to do this, which is left me drastically unprepared. All right, we won't go with the mic stand. So, many of you are probably wondering why Bank of America? Why are we here sponsoring this event at MIT? And we're an investment banking company as well as the commercial bank you're probably familiar with, but our wing is centered on trading, electronic trading, and voice trading. And to be successful, we need 3 things. We need fast execution, we need robust systems, and we need distributed computing grids. And all these things are integral to the success of our company, and that's why we're here. We're here to find the best and the brightest, to introduce ourselves to you, and to let the best software developers in America, as students, know that Bank of America is a great place to come and work and do great technology.
Thank you, Bank of America. Now we're going to hear from our Gold sponsor companies, starting with Electronic Arts.
Hi, I'm Dave Swanson from Electronic Arts. I work on the John Madden football series of video games. I'm a development director there. I guess the relevance for us with the competition's obvious. We're excited to be here. Colleen's going to be here next month doing interviews for internships and full-time positions, so come on out and make games.
All right.
We'll hear a word from BBN Technologies.
Good evening. I'm Steve Milligan. I'm the Chief Technologist at BBN. I have to apologize for the way I'm get up. Turns out tonight is BBN's annual party for the entire corporation. And while 30 years ago I got away with taking my wife Carol to 26100 for the Saturday night movies, we're going to go over there after this, actually. BBN, we're a contract research and development company. We're a MIT spin-out, but we're 50 years old. We're here in Cambridge. What we do as a contract research and development company is we solve other people's hardest problems. We build the first of something. Some of them you use every day, like the internet and the first email. You probably saw last month the first quantum cryptographic network in Scientific American. We built that this past year, and it runs between BBN, Harvard, and BU, not MIT. So, I guess what I want to say is we're a profitable company, we're growing, we hire interns, and we hire full-time employees. At any given time, we have over 300 projects going on that are just like this, just like starting up the internet, just like doing the quantum cryptography. Come join us. You'll enjoy it. It's fun.
And finally, we have Schlumberger, who've asked us to read this statement. Schlumberger is the world's largest oil field services company with over 50,000 employees worldwide from approximately 140 countries. Schlumberger has many intern, postgraduate, and professional opportunities for computer scientists, physical scientists, and engineers. We have a long relationship with MIT, which will expand considerably when the relocation of our largest laboratory to Kendall Square will be completed in 2006. Schlumberger is pleased to once again sponsor the 6370 RoboCraft competition. We have been able to sponsor this event since its inception 5 years ago, and are thrilled to see how the game engine has consistently improved and the number of competing teams has grown. I'd like to wish the best of luck to the finalists in what promises to be an exciting competition.
All right, so in addition to our sponsor companies, we want to thank some other people who made this competition possible, starting with our web officer, Jonathan Grawl, who designed and implemented the entire website as the content. All right. As the contestants know, the competition's pretty much run through the website, so it's a huge part of it. And he also did all the graphics and audio for the matches that you're going to see tonight, and he's pretty much the reason why it looks as awesome as it does. So another round of applause. All right. We also want to thank the engine developers, Yang and Roger Hanna, who their late-night hacking made it easier for contestants to debug their players and ultimately led to better players overall. So round of applause for them. We'd also like to thank our publicity chairman, Daniel Schultz, and Arshan Gailis for their efforts on our publicity campaign, which was highly successful. Okay. We also want to thank our other graphics artist, Edward Platt, who did all this T-shirt artwork, designed our logos, and many of the artwork that you see on posters and the website. And we want to thank our faculty sponsors, Michael Ernst from EECS and Ann Hunter, the Course 6 administrator. And finally, we want to give a hearty thanks to MIT Video Productions, MIT Cable, and MIT Audio Visual. This isn't an easy setup, but they've got all the wires in the right places such that it's working smoothly. So thanks, guys.
Okay, now we're going to tell you about RoboCraft, the game itself. RoboCraft is a virtual world in which teams of robots battle. And when two teams battle in a match, the robots that you see are controlled entirely by the software written by those teams. And each robot runs the software autonomously and independently of the other robots. The robots have to navigate a map with unknown obstacles that they don't know where they are while they're trying to accomplish their goals. And in this world, if a robot's software crashes, that destroys the robot.
So, robots have a few basic kinds of abilities. They can move around the map, attack other robots, spawn new ones, and distribute energon, which is like their health life force. If they run out of energon, they die. They can also broadcast messages to each other to try to coordinate strategies and battle movements. And some robots can fly, and that lets them fly over obstacles on the map.
So here are the 4 robots that you're going to encounter in RoboCraft: the Sentry, the Tank, the Falcon, and the Bomber.
All right, so the Sentry is your basic ground unit. It walks around on the ground, can't go through obstacles, has to find a path around them. It can fire lasers at other ground robots, like tanks or other sentries, but it can only attack the 4 adjacent squares, north, south, east, and west of its current square. And it's also the only robot in RoboCraft that can lay mines.
The Tank is another robot that moves on the ground, but the Tank can fire anti-aircraft lasers at air robots, which are the Falcons and Bombers. And it's the only unit that has a ranged attack. It has a weapon that can shoot at air units that are a considerable distance away.
The Falcon is a flying unit, so it can fly over obstacles on the map. Like the Sentry, it can attack other robots that are adjacent to it, but it can only attack other flying robots, such as bombers or other Falcons.
And finally, the Bomber, which is another flying unit, can drop bombs on ground robots. And it can only drop bombs on robots that are directly beneath it. The ground robots include sentries and tanks.
All right, so here's the rules of a RoboCraft match. First, each team starts out with 1 Sentry, 1 Falcon, and 1 flag for that team. The goal of the match is to capture the enemy's team flag and bring it to your own. So, a team wins when one of its robots come in possession of both teams' flags. Now, if there's no winner after 7,000 rounds, the entire RoboCraft world starts shrinking, and anything that touched the outer edges as they shrink gets blown up. And the first team to lose its flag to the shrinking outer edges of the world also loses the match.
So here are the rules for working with flags. Flying robots aren't allowed to carry flags, so robots have to carry them across the map. The robot currently carrying the flag can always sense the location of the enemy flag, so he can tell the other robots about it. But all robots, all the time, can sense the current location of their team's flag.
Okay, so now let's meet our finalist teams. Team 14, can you come on down, CDG? All right. All right. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your strategy, introduce yourselves, and how you chose to design the players that you did.
So I'm Jim Rowe, and, well, I'll let Cliff introduce himself. But, so we don't really have a single big overall strategy. What we do more is a whole bunch of small things and how we want our robots to react to what they see at each time. And I'm really good with feedback. So a couple of the neat things is that you'll see sometimes our robots actually run away from the enemies if they get outnumbered, or if they find out that they're not going to survive this fight. And
yeah, another thing, the sentries can lay mines, but they can't lay them on top of other robots. But the mines do damage in all directions, and so the safest way to attack is if you lay a really, really big mine and then step on it. You lose 1 sentry, but you do damage to all neighboring units. So our guys don't do this very often because it's very easy to damage our own units in the process. But they try, and so you may notice our units all of a sudden run away, and that'll be because one guy just sent a message that he wants to lay a mine. And hopefully this will actually end up happening in the matches. It only happened once or twice in the preliminary, but look for that.
All right, thanks, guys. Team 14. All right, how about Team 15, Short Bus All-Stars, consisting of... All right.
All right. My overall strategy is, like these guys, I don't really have a big overarching one, but it turns out that taking the center is really important. So my guys all slowly go towards the center, because obviously you win by default once the map starts shrinking. Then, like these guys, I work on a lot of the little things. So trying to make things like pathfinding and attacking and just sensing what's going on in the world really efficient. And another interesting thing is all the robots sort of talk to each other about what walls they're running into, what enemies there are. So like even though like a single robot has a very limited sensor range, it can communicate with a whole bunch of others, and they each create a map of the entire world. And well, that's the hope anyway. And then another interesting thing I do is with the radio, you can listen in on enemies' messages, and so you can take their messages, screw them up, and set them out again. Okay, so this has the effect of, if someone says, hey, my flag's over here, or the enemy flag carrier's over here, we can point them in a completely different direction, and if we're lucky, or if I'm lucky, I guess, I'm team one here. What I've seen happen is if you send the right kind of corrupt message, then all robots in a certain radius explode, which is pretty awesome. And I really hope it happens, because it hasn't happened for me yet. But that's pretty much it. All right, thanks.
All right, that's Team 15. How about Team 22 now? The Team 7 is their name. All right, creative naming.
I'm Thomas.
I'm Hugh.
And he's doing the talk. I'm Ian. So just like the last two teams, we basically just head for the center. But unlike them, I don't think we're even theoretically capable of picking up the flag and winning that way. So if that happens, it's a bug, which wouldn't be surprising, because we've done some testing since we submitted it, and it turns out there's a lot of bugs. But one interesting thing you'll see is our robots will just you'll see them start self-destructing around 1,000, and that's not a bug. That's all part of the plan.
All right. All right, Team 22. Now Team 63, Trinity.
Hey, I'm Bill.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Jenny. And our team is similar to many of the other teams. We have a defensive strategy. We first head to the middle. Then we camp there until either the map shrinks and kills our enemies, or they attack. And hopefully our defensive strategy is strong enough so that, like, once we obtain their flag, we have this thing called the explosive chain of glory, where all our sentries along the way will explode until the enemy flag reaches our flag bearer, and that's how we will win.
We also think one of the strengths of our team is our combat code, like the way our combat works. We try to transfer energon towards the outside units, which are more likely to be in combat, and also towards the unit that's carrying the flag. When we have our units either rotating or looking back and forth to check their sensor range for enemies all the time, basically. And when they actually see an enemy unit, they will engage in combat. They'll try to do 2-on-1s. They'll try to attack weaker robots. They'll try to take advantage of units that are either being spawned or spawning other units. And also, since the tank has a shorter sensor range than it does an attack range, we sort of coordinate messages that indicate where enemy air robots are so that they can attack them.
And finally, we also have a couple of fallback strategies in case something goes wrong. So first thing we notice is that a lot of teams try to do this air rush thing where they like kill all of your air units with a big, strong army of Falcons and stuff. So you'll notice that after we reach 11 Falcons, one of them will like kind of break away from the group and hide somewhere in the map. And that's not a bug, that's intentional. And he stays there, and when air unit count gets really low, he spawns an extra guy. And if we completely get wiped out over our flag, then those 2 guys wait a little while and they come back to the middle and rebuild the army that was once destroyed. And if it goes down and comes back up again, then the guy he spawns will just go in and join the rest of the guys in the middle. Also, if we're completely wiped out in the air, then we spawn lots of extra tanks and have them try to do some of the aerial damage for us. And if we're getting pretty bad on the ground, like if one of the units adjacent to our flag dies, we know that our ground forces are being penetrated pretty badly. So we'll spawn some bombers at that point, and then the bombers will give us a little extra help on the ground.
Okay, thank you, Team 63. Now we'll hear from Team 69, the local hosts.
What's up, everybody? We're Team 69. I'm Matt, and this is Adam. And wearing the same clothes was kind of an accident. Yeah. So we're, I guess, one of the few teams up there that has a really, really offensive strategy. We try to spawn a whole lot of units really fast and just start sending them at the other team. They move out in waves. Our sentries and falcons are coordinated. They try to, stay together. We also have a little bit of defensive fallback. We have a little unit that patrols in the air. If we get attacked, he'll come back home and tell the units at home to stop spawning and get defensive. I guess Adam's going to talk about some of the other stuff.
Yeah, so in terms of the implementation, our main goals were to be robust and flexible. Robust in that we weren't going to try to do anything really complicated in terms of strategy. We just wanted to execute it well. So for instance, we spent a lot of time on attack code. Like other teams are saying, we transfer energon to the front lines for our guys that are in combat. And we try to get all those little details in that hopefully will give us a big advantage. One other quirk of our implementation is that we used, for navigation, we used an algorithm adopted from Tangent Bug, which we think is very different from the A-star that a lot of other teams are using. And this could either be our greatest achievement or our downfall, because it works really well when it works, but if it fails, it means none of our guys will be able to navigate anywhere. So pay attention to our pathfinding. If you see it working, give us a thumbs up. If you see it failing, cry for us or something, because we've got
Okay, let's hear from Team 87, iPower.
Okay, so we are all from Singapore, and we have done our time in the Singapore Army. So we decided to base our strategy based on real military tactics. But then, three weeks into IAP, we realized that it was technically impossible. So what we see here is actually our modified system based on what we try to implement, and actually we try to take into as much consideration the real kind of military tactics in terms of like air and land defense and attacks. And we actually also have this kind of architecture that allows complete flexibility, so that all military units actually have different roles and goals to actually accomplish their mission in all.
And then, I'd like to add something to what Team 14 said about mines. When we lay a mine, we actually don't really walk into our own mine, because mines, they are chain detonating. They will cause a chain reaction and detonate other nearby mines. So what we do is we lay one big mine in front, we take one step back, lay two more to connect it, and we detonate the third one, which will cause all three to go in a row, but we are far away from the first mine to actually not sustain any significant damage. So hopefully you can see this later when we try to breach into the enemy's strong defense. But this only happens if certain conditions are right. Yep. Thank you.
Now let's hear from Team 97, Wangular Momentum.
Hey, can you hear me? No? Okay, I'm Kevin, this is Stan, this is Paul. A bit about our name first. We tried to think of something that incorporated all of our names into it. And so we had Angular Momentum first, because I hated rotational stuff during 801. But then I say we put a W in front. It's like me and him, but we can't change his name to Wayne, unfortunately. So we put a Y in between. It sort of sounds the same, so it works out. Basically, our strategy, we're one of the more offensive teams. Actually, we try to capture the flag. So if you see this, hopefully it'll be a more exciting game. Also, our basic idea is to have the air and ground covered, and we get basically we kind of move kind of slowly. So it may be kind of slow in the beginning, but once we're always aiming for their enemy flag. So after a while, if we get really close, you'll see a lot of action going on, and hopefully it'll be pretty fun.
All right, so I'm just going to talk about our pathfinding. Our pathfinding is pretty much our units, when they bump into a wall, they keep track of the turns they made before, and they try to undo them as soon as possible, so that way they can get around obstacles. And also, we also have a lot of quite a few micromanagement abilities for our robots, just to give them the slight edge over other robots. And for example, we use body language between falcons and tanks. A tank, if you read the specs, you know that they can only have a sensor range that's much less than their attacking range. So what we do is we have a falcon that's within the tank's sensor range, and if the falcon that attacks another air unit, the tank would just go and attack the same unit that the falcon is attacking. So things like that. And then we also do messaging between falcons and tanks to find targets. And now Paul is going to talk about the messaging system that we have.
Our messaging system is pretty robust. Like someone said, you can't send message to us to cause us to crash. We check for no messages, everything like that. Also, using checksums and other methods, we can detect whether or not the message is really from our team or whether or not someone tried to modify it before. And messaging is important because you need to tell all your robots where the enemy flag is, and also when to attack the other team. And also when we spawn a robot, it does not know what the round number is. So we keep by using messaging, we can send them the exact round number, so each robot knows when the map will start shrinking, and send the enemy flag into the center, and send our flag in the center.
Finally, a word from Team 111, Blue Ships.
Hi, I'm Josh Weaver. This is Alexi Radu. We also have an offensive strategy where we try to build a huge formation and slowly plot across the map as we're looking for the enemy flag. We figured that would be a more interesting battle than just going to the center of the map and kind of waiting for the round to end. One thing that we do is we coordinate all our units in kind of a distributed fashion, and we have a group hive mind where we give messages to each other and they learn from everyone. And Alexi will talk about that a little.
Yeah, we tried very much to design our robots to not be very badly dependent on time-sensitive state, so that our messages carry information. There is terrain here, the formation is supposed to be here, there are enemy falcons there, things like that. And the information, when it is ephemeral, is time-stamped, so that units can know to ignore old stuff. And all the units try to make decisions themselves according to what to do. And we try to cause the decision-making algorithms to be such that they make the right decisions to create the desired global behavior. Well, you'll see how well it worked.
Okay, let's talk a little about the tournament. Let's take a look at our tournament bracket. So the tournament is double elimination, which means that a team has to lose a match twice in order to be knocked out of the bracket. So the way we keep track of that is that teams in the winner's bracket are undefeated, while teams in the loser's bracket have lost exactly one match. So if a team loses a match in the loser's bracket, they drop out. If they lose a match in the winner's bracket, they drop down to the loser's bracket. And the tournament will be run on a brand new map that the contestants haven't seen before. And then for the very final match, we'll use a second brand new map. So here's what a map might look like. This is actually this is a desert map. So as you can see, there are various obstacles on the map. And basically, wherever there's sand, a ground robot can walk. And otherwise, only air robots can traverse the obstacle. So all these various things are obstacles. And the maps you'll see during the tournament are set up differently, and they have different themes, but it's the same basic idea.
All right, so let's see an example RoboCraft match. We're going to play you the match that Team 69 played against Team 23 in order to make it to the finals tonight, just as an example. So as you can see on this map, each team starts out in opposite corners with a flag of their respective color. At the bottom, we have a control panel here. This is the round counter, and remember, when that gets to 7,000, the world starts shrinking. We also have unit counts for the red and blue teams on the left and right. As you can see, red, Team 69, is racking up the units. And we also have here Energon life bars that are a measure of the total health and power of each team.
Captured.
All right, so now we're on to the final tournament. We're going to start out with Team 69 versus 87 for the first match to kick it off. Oh, yeah. And another thing, during the matches, we're going to have the teams come down and give play-by-play commentaries so they can tell you what the robots are doing, what they're thinking, things that may not be obvious by just looking at the match. So Team 69 and 87, come on down. Yeah, try to stay on the X's. All right, let's go. All right, here we go.
Yeah, note that the craters are actually obstacles on this map. The robots can't handle walking on craters, so they have to go around them.
Okay, so our robots are moving towards the center where they'll try to defend it strongly. We are with the blue team.
So near the beginning, we send out 3 sentries and 1 falcon to kind of do some preliminary scouting. And we send 1 falcon on a patrol routine. You can see him in the lower left. He'll be looping back and forth in front of our home base.
Okay, at this point, our falcons have spawned to about a good number, and they are going forward to try to attack the enemy falcons.
back, our flag bearer tells guys around him to self-destruct if they get in his way. So if you see guys blowing up, that's actually intentional.
All right, so Team 69 takes that one. Next, we're going to have 22 versus 111. So teams 22 and 111. Come on up.
Is this on?
Which side are we on?
Well, good luck, guys. So, this match is a little ironic. In the preliminary tournament, Team 22 was the only one that beat us. So we're coming right back and fighting them first off in the final.
I think this map will confuse us a lot.
Us too. We try and make a huge formation. We're starting up in the top right, and a huge formation going through that small hole might be.
Our formation is kind of afraid of holes, small holes. So this might be a bit of a problem.
Oh yeah, we're okay.
Speaking?
Yeah, see they're starting to destroy themselves.
We, on the other hand, are trying to fit that tiny little hole and deciding not to go for it. Now we're going to have a look at the other tiny little hole. And, they're going in. They're pretty good about continuing a course of action once they've decided to go that way. Although, with a hole that small, we could easily get very confused.
We're just trying to keep them guessing. Yeah. Do we know why that happens? Yeah. Oh no. He should go up and around, but he checks the perfect spot.
I think there's a certain amount of confusion in the ranks. Slow and steady. Unfortunately, the air units might get a little ahead of the ground units that are plodding through the. The formation is deliberately throttled to move more slowly than the individual units, so they have a chance to catch up to it. All of them? Not all of them. There's a pile right under the bombers, right where they should be. Doing approximately where they should be. Let battle be joined.
So in the preliminary tournament, a lot of people caught the flag and then tried to bring it back and lost because they didn't quite manage to do it, but they got it closer to the center than their own flag. So we just get the flag as far away from us as possible. If we accidentally...
It was a valiant assault, but it was defeated by superior military power.
Good job, Team 22. Next, we have Team 14 versus 97. So come on down.
So we pretty much just go towards them the best we can. Actually, for the very beginning, we're heading towards the middle, but then we'll head towards them, spawning on the way. We don't build very many air units because tanks tend to kill them.
Yeah, right now we're kind of just, we build a pretty large army before we move in and attack, so it'll take a while to spawn. We lost our air now on blue team, so we're going to build a lot of sentries in the tanks, hopefully fend off the air. I think they lost all their air also. Yeah.
No more air units.
Pretty much. Now that's really, really dumb. Oh, I think they got us.
to complete the first round of the winner's bracket, we have 63 versus 15.
Let's see what happens. Oh wait, apparently I'm doing that instead. No, we're not gonna get stuck.
I'm a little nervous. My guys like to make themselves stuck up there, so.
Yeah. What happened there? No. What the heck? That's supposed to happen.
So you'll see my guys are kind of going left a little bit. We try to pick the square that's halfway between the two teams.
All right, so we have absolutely no idea what our flag bearer is doing right now. He's not supposed to be turning around like that.
I'm a little worried that we have like no tanks.
All right, here we go, finally.
All right.
Except our flag bearer is kind of alone. That worries me. Some reinforcements.
So my guys do the energon healing thing too, so.
This is bad. Run, little flag bearer, run. Yes, Falcons, take them out.
Come on, man.
Oh no, this is bad. What the heck happened to my pathfinding? Ouch.
Okay, that brings us to the first round of the losers bracket. We have 87 versus 111.
Well, here we go again.
Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're doing the winners bracket round. Yeah.
Winners drop down into the losers bracket as they lose matches in the winners bracket. So so the way our tournament software runs is it lets the teams fall down into the losers bracket before they play each other.
Oh, he's just sending sentries. We'll like slot some performance. Can we see? Yes.
So we're kind of hoping right now that our units don't get split up. So you can see our team send out another wave in a few rounds.
Oh, but we're shooting our own. And then they're still idle.
I hope.
We don't want Falcons anyway, so that's okay.
So our goal here is to whittle them down with lots of small attacks. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be working too well. Once the map starts shrinking, we should send out larger forces, and hopefully we can break the stalemate.
Not if we keep self-destructing. I think you never build sentries again once we have bombers. Thanks.
Oh. It's because Songers don't know how to kill themselves.
Yeah, and then what's he doing?
What?
What's he doing?
So that was our final charge there. Apparently it was a little too late. Good job, Team 22.
Okay, now we have Team 14 versus Team 15. 14 and 15?
Not really liking this race for the center thing.
It's bad news. What are you doing, guys? Get busy, guys. Come on, guys. No.
Yeah. No. I'm in trouble.
Flag taken.
What do you do?
Flag captured.
Okay, now we get to the losers bracket, and we play 87 versus 111.
Now, here we go again.
So once again, we are moving towards the center. Our Falcon is just waiting to spawn up enough Falcons before we move to the center.
For ourselves, we're leisurely building up our formation. Which will hopefully pursue a somewhat more direct path this time.
Okay, Falcons are moving out. So Falcons began spawning bombers on the right, as you can see. Okay, our Falcons are moving up for the attack and getting killed in the process. But it's okay. As you can see, okay, we have lost a lot of Falcons, but never mind, back at base, we decided to spawn more tanks. That's okay, never mind. Okay, runs away from combat.
That sounds like a good idea.
The Lone Ranger dies.
A little more.
We decide to do a flank from the back. So let's see if that happens.
You know,
Okay.
that attack from the back might actually be a problem.
Okay, conflict.
Ooh, those mines are gonna hurt.
Flag
Okay.
captured.
Okay, next we have 97 versus 63 coming up.
Yeah.
That was a network issue. The machine that holds the database of the matches is in another building. So I'm guessing that the MIT network is slowing down for some reason. So hopefully that won't happen again.
to do that. There we go, we're finding it. Okay, so I'm a little better pleased with my flag bearer's pathfinding skills this time around. Aren't they like completely symmetrical? It doesn't.
All right, see if we can find our way to the center and hopefully attack them.
Here come our tanks. By the way, if you guys are wondering why our guys are twitching back and forth, it's because the robots only have a sensor range in front of them, so they have to double back to get a full sensor range all around them. So that's what they're doing. All right.
I think our flag guy's having some trouble there. Doesn't like craters, apparently.
So as you see, the Falcon out there is getting ready to spawn another one, and he's joining the battle again.
Our year is supposed to be so far can't find a way to center.
Flag taken. Flag returned.
Okay, there we go.
Flag captured.
Now we have two teams that have dropped down into the losers bracket, and we're going to play that round in the losers bracket. So we're going to have 69 versus 111 next.
Here we go again.
once more, the build-up. The initial combat has started. Sort of. Bombers covering the backside.
Flag taken.
So our sentry tries to dodge the enemy bombers, and what he'll do is he'll try to hide underneath enemy falcons
Flag
because the bombers and
return.
falcons can't occupy the same square. Apparently he just
We're
died, so never mind.
in the process of rebuilding our heavily damaged ground force. Which is bad. Looks like we're about to get attacked from the back. That could be very unfortunate. Yes, but is enough of it in the ground?
Flag taken.
Kill him! Kill him! Thank you. Our tanks are mostly dead, so our bombers are very vulnerable to their falcons right now. But, not quite completely over yet. Whew! That was pretty close.
Flag return.
And the next battle. Okay, this is not good. In fact, this is officially bad.
Next we have Team 15 versus Team 97.
So I'm a little worried because everybody gets stuck in the lower left-hand corner, so we spawn really slowly for some reason. So.
Don't worry, I don't think I'll ever find you this entire map. So.
I mean, they're happy in the center. God only knows what's going to happen there.
All right, this is interesting.
Come on. I'm really hoping that their flag carrier will come closer. Yeah, I'm in some trouble. A lot of trouble.
Flag
Thanks, guys.
captured.
Okay, now we're back up to the winners bracket. We have Team 22 versus Team 14.
This is our first time being blue. First time ever. We didn't even test it.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Our air units run away a lot.
So our Falcon up there is trying to chase him?
Yeah, we're not buying it.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay, so the way this works is Team 22 just lost a match. So Team 22 will play the winner of this match in the losers bracket that we're about to play.
Team 14 will play. Team 14 will play.
22. So our next match is 69 versus 97.
Wait, so if you guys send a lot of waves, it's basically, I think if we survive the waves, we can just get our flag a little bit closer to yours. Your guy doesn't really escape the shrinking map. So if we can survive your 15 waves, hopefully after that. But whoops.
Okay, so now we have 22 versus 69, and the winner will enter the final match against 14. This isn't the final match. We'll have a new map for the final match.
Yeah, because we lost to them on the same map earlier.
Positions are switched, though.
Okay, that's fine. We're very not symmetric. So the ironic thing is that we lost to this team a couple rounds earlier, and although we're playing on opposite sides of the map is very symmetrical. So this may be very similar to a round you've seen a few minutes ago. We'll see. For us, that's a bad thing. That's a very bad thing.
Yes.
Trying to challenge this one.
I don't know. So did we lose a lot of sentries when we played them last time?
That's almost just the name because they don't make sense.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now I remember.
Right. That's the final one.
just spawned a bunch more.
They don't stop the production as they're close to a limit.
So our algorithm isn't quite symmetric.
No, it's not.
So we're in a much worse position on the side.
Yeah, you did a very good job of
stuck in the top and the maps are shrinking.
Had a good run though. Good job, guys. Good luck in finals. Good job.
Okay, so we have 14 versus 22, and 14 is undefeated, whereas Team 22 has lost one match. Right. So if 14 wins, they win the tournament because they're undefeated. If 22 wins, then they'll each have won one match against each other, and we'll have to play a tiebreaker match after that.
We play this on a different map.
Yeah, the final round will be on a different map. This round will be on a different map.
I don't think we can possibly win. Because we don't expect anyone to attack us before around 1500, so we just get like battle. Are those passages too wide or
Two.
Use the rollers for cover.
All right, so we have some prizes to give out now. Not only do the finalists all get prizes, but we would like to award some teams who didn't make it to the finals, but who had exceptional strategies. Maybe they were daring or especially creative or bold with their strategy, but it didn't work out in the end, but we want to recognize these teams anyway. So if Team 61 is here, we have... Okay. We have a $150 award sponsored by Apple for having a creative strategy. And Team 61, are you here? All right, come on down. All right, congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Yeah. All right, we have another $150 award from Apple for Team 39. So Team 39, are you here? Come on down. Why don't you tell us about your strategy?
Actually, basically, we just had an interesting air formation that was completely surrounded by Falcons on the outside and bombers on the inside. And then our bombers would go around and kill any ground units as they approach our flag carrier. Our flag carrier would go to the center and wait the map out. We had a bug, and it was blown up during the prelims. So
Our sentries crashed. That's why.
All right. Good job. All right, next we have a $300 prize sponsored by Schlumberger, and they awarded this prize for effective battle techniques and teamwork among the bombers. So why doesn't Team 124 come down for that?
I don't really remember what they did. They were just really good at spotting sentries and then just chasing after them and all kind of massing together. Hello. Hi.
Well done. Good job. Good job. All right, next we have another $300 award from BBN Technologies, and this is for having an organized Falcon formation. It goes to Team 78. Team 78 here. Making their way down. Good job, guys. Want to tell us about your strategy?
Hey, I'm the one that had the 20 Falcons immediately build up on one edge of the map and then sweep down in threes. That's cool.
Well done. All right, now we have a $600 award. This is sponsored by Electronic Arts, and this goes to the best gameplay. Goes to Team 13. Team 13. Team 13 actually won our seeding tournament. So that's another accomplishment that they had. And they're making their way down. Why don't you tell us about your strategy?
Like most people, we had an air rush, and then we'd follow up with a ground attack, and But most of the best stuff we had was endgame strategies. We had a lot of backup plans, and some of them didn't work, but it was a lot of fun making this. So,
Good job. All right, now we have the Bank of America prizes. These are $300, and the first one goes to Team 30 for an innovative strategy.
So our strategy was our sentries went to the middle of the map to guard, and then we sent a bunch of Falcons over the enemy flag, took out all their air units, then switched over to bombers, and we called it our Dresden strategy, because then we just take out all the ground units.
All right, well done. Congratulations. We have another $300 prize from Bank of America, also for innovative strategy, that goes to Team 50. Is Team 50 here? All right. Why don't you tell us about your strategy?
All right, I guess our strategy initially is we had this kind of interesting triangle formation where we built basically front rows of Falcons, and we backed them up with a bunch of bombers in the back row, and the bombers were just like much bigger batteries for the Falcons, so we could keep the front lines charged up for longer. And then, yeah.
All right. Good job.
Another Bank of America award for $300 goes to Team 100 for their strategy.
Team 100.
So I chose to do an adaptive strategy because I figured the strategies would mainly fall into 3 classes, and it would be like a rock, paper, scissors game. The strategists that stayed back would lose to the strategists that went to the center because they would savage the base in the center and would beat the strategists that stayed back. The strategies that went to the center would lose to the strategies that rush because the strategies that rush would be stronger than the strategies that went to the center initially. And the strategies that rush would lose to the strategies that stayed back because they would be able to build up enough troops to stop the rush. So I went with an adaptive strategy, and I monitored where the enemy flag was moving. And if the enemy flag was moving towards the center, I would go with a rush. And if the enemy flag stayed behind, I would go to the center strategy. And I should have just went with go to the center because that never failed me.
Well done.
And another $300 award from Bank of America goes once again to Team 13 for their amazing innovative strategy.
All right, well done, guys. Well done. All right, now we're on to prizes for the finalists. You can see their ranking right up there. So starting with 8th place, Team 87, we have a $900 prize for you. Well done. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right. All right, we have another $900 prize. Another $900 prize going to the 7th place team, 63. Good job. Good job. Well done. And sixth place also receives $900. That's Team 111. Well done.
See you next year.
All right. And fifth place team, Team 15, also receives $900. Good job. And fourth place, $900. Team 69. Great job. Great job. Well done. Yeah. Congratulations. All right, now on to the top three. Third place, we have a prize of $1,200. There goes Team 69. Well done. Congratulations. Well done. Good job. All right, second place, the runner-up. Second place goes to Team 22, and that is a $1,500 prize. Well done. Nicely done. And now our grand prize for Team 14, who won this tournament undefeated, is, of course, the glory of winning the competition. And $2,400. Very well done. Nicely done.
Congratulations. Good job.
All right, thank you all for coming. We're glad to have you. Feel free to grab a t-shirt, but hold on, there's lots of shirts. We want the finalists, the top 8 teams, after you grab your shirt, come back up here. The shirts are down in lobby 10. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. You?
I got the job. Thanks.